We are going to start English 2, the Tempest. Now see here, page number 111. Now see here, date 3rd 9 2020 class 12. The Tempest Act 5, scene 1, line 155, page 111. Now see here, line number 155. Before that, who said? Alonso. So Alonso had doubt about Prospero's being alive. So he is asking whether you can say whether you are Prospero or somebody else, or still under I am, you can say, an illusion, or I have false belief, or my mind is confused, my mind is not working. Now Alonso, you can say, Prospero has said here, I am O for it, sir. Now you can say, says, I am sorry about your loss, sir. So he had told him, Prospero here, Alonso told him he lost his son Ferdinand. So here Prospero says, I am sorry about your loss, sir. You have lost your son. Now Alonso says, irreparable is the loss. Irreparable. That cannot be repaired. Your loss cannot be compensated. You have lost your son. That means, okay, he is drowned and he is no more. So your loss is irreparable. That which cannot be compensated. And patience says it is past her cure. And even patience can bring Ferdinand no comfort. Even patience can bring Alonso no comfort. When he will have patience, he will have no comfort, because he has lost, you can say, his son Ferdinand. So he will not have, you can say, comfort. He will not, you can say, have. He will not have his mind at ease. Certainly, you can say his mind will be troubled. His heart will be anxious. He will be troubled, and so on. So he says, even the patience cannot bring me any comfort. Now say here. And patience says it is past her cure. In other words, there can be no, you can say, recompense for this loss of mine, loss of my son. And even my powers of endurance can bring me no relief. Even, you can say, my powers of endurance can bring me no relief. My son is, you can say, drowned and he is no more. Now Prospero says, I rather think you have not sought her help. What you can say is her help. Patience, you can say, help. Now you can say, what is it here? I rather think. I do not agree with you. I think something else. You have not sought her help. Okay, in my opinion, you have not, you can say, made full use of your, you can say, powers of endurance. Or you can say, your patience. So, you have not made all use of your powers of endurance. If you can say, have patience, certainly there will be some comfort. Of those soft grace, for the like loss I have her sovereign age, and rest myself content. Now he says, I too have, you can suffer, you can say here, a similar loss. But I have, you can say, patience, and so you can say, there will not, you can say here, much problem for me. Now say here, of whose soft grace, endurance soft grace, or patience soft grace. For the like loss I have her sovereign age. I myself have suffered, you can say, a similar loss. I too have lost my daughter. Here he has lost his daughter. That means what he says here, Prospero tells Alonso, I too have lost my daughter because your son came on this island. Okay, you will come to know bit later you can say, your son came, you can say, on this island, and my son, you can say, my daughter fell, you can say, in love with Ferdinand. So I have lost my daughter because she will marry Ferdinand and she will stay with him. So I will be losing, you can say, my daughter. So in other words, I have lost my daughter. See here, I myself have suffered, you can say, a similar loss. Okay, because I have lost my daughter. But I have drawn supreme comfort from my patience. But he says, I have drawn supreme comfort from patience. I have, you can say, in other words, in simple words, I have patience. Okay. comfort from my patients. And now I am fully reconciled to my loss. And he says, I am fully reconciled to my loss. Okay, I have lost my daughter, so I am fully reconciled to my loss because I have patience. Now see here what he says here. So full soft grace, for the like loss, I have her sovereign aid. I have her sovereign aid. I have, you can say, drawn supreme comfort from my patience. So sovereign, you can say supreme comfort from my patience. And now I am fully reconciled to my loss. Okay, 8. And rest myself content. And rest myself content means I remain contented. I remain, you can say, happy. Alonso now says here, you like the loss. He says, you too have suffered, you can say, a similar loss. You too have lost someone. He says, okay, I have lost my daughter, Miranda. Prospero says, as great to me as late. Okay, he says here, my loss, you can say, is as great for me as it is recent. My loss, you can say, is as great. My loss is as great for me as, you can say, it is recent. Recently, he lost his daughter because his daughter Miranda fell in love with Ferdinand. Now see what he says here. Supportable to make the dear loss. Now you can say, it says here, it is indeed a loss of great magnitude. I have, you can say here, a loss, you can say, of great magnitude. I have lost my daughter. You have lost your son Ferdinand. I have lost my daughter Miranda. So it is, you can say, my loss, you can say, is of great magnitude of great size. To make the dear loss, have I means such, you can say, weaker than you may call to comfort you. Then you can say, it says here, and my means of making this loss bearable. And my means of making this loss bearable. In other words, to, you can say, compensate this loss. For myself are much, you can say, less effective than your means. For myself are much less effective than your, you can say, means of comforting yourself. Okay, in your loss. So in your loss, you can say, of course, you can say you are much troubled, but in my loss, I have, you can say, reconciled, you can say, with my loss. So you can say, I have patience, so that you can say, I am troubled less. Then you can say what he says here. To make the dear loss, have I means such weaker? Have I means such weaker? Then you may call to comfort you. Then you may call to comfort you. Okay, then as I said here, that my means of making this loss bearable for myself, okay, to bear this loss for myself, are much less effective than your means of comforting yourself. Then you can say your means of comforting yourself, okay, in your loss. Then you make all to comfort you. For I have lost my daughter. See, I have lost my daughter. You have lost your son. So you can say here, of course, loss, you can say, is much less effective, and my loss, you can say, is, of course, here equally, you can say, same. You can say, I mean, here loss, you have lost also, you can say, Ferdinand. I too have lost, you can say, my daughter Miranda. So my means of making this loss bearable for myself are less effective. Okay, I can make it easily because I have patience, and you are, you can say, I mean, feeling it more because you can say you are feeling it. So you can say your loss, you can say, is more. You are feeling it. It is affecting you more. Your loss of comforting yourself is comforting yourself in your loss. Okay, it is my daughter whom I have lost. I have lost my daughter Miranda, while your daughter is still alive. But in your case, your daughter is still alive, Alonso. Alonso's daughter is still alive, Claribel. She, you can say, is in Tunis. She got married to the king of Tunis. So in his case, in Alonso's case, his daughter is still alive. Now see what Alonso says here. A daughter. Have you lost your daughter? He is asking. What, Prospero, you have lost your daughter? Oh heavens, that they were living both, you can say, in Naples. Now you can say this, oh God, I wish both of them, you can say, were living in Naples, your son and my daughter, as a husband and wife. Oh heavens, that they were living both, you can say, in Naples. I wish that your daughter and my son had got married to each other and had been alive, you can say, in Naples. Okay, as the king and the queen, as the king and queen, they had been, you can say, they had been living, you can say, in Naples. So the king and queen there you can say in Naples, that they were, I wish that they were living as a king and queen after getting married. I wish myself were murdered, you can say, in that oozy bed where my son lies. I wish to replace, you can say, my son's dead body with my, you can say, dead body in his place where, you can say, my son's dead body, you can say, is lying, or you can say, buried in the mud, okay, at the bottom of the ocean. So I wish myself were murdered in that oozy bed. So now what it says here, if they could have, you can say, remained alive through my death, I would gladly have taken, you can say, my son's, you can say, place in his grave at the muddy bottom of the sea. Gladly, you can say, I will accept, you can say, his place. Okay, I will accept, you can say, his place, muddy, you can say, muddy bottom of the sea. I wish I were dead and my son was alive. When I did lose your daughter, okay, now see, when did you lose your daughter? He is asking, Alonso is asking, when did you lose your daughter, Miranda? Now Prospero says here, Prospero, in this last tempest, now you can say what he says here, I lost, you can say here, I lost her during the storm, which raged here some times ago. Just you can say, some times ago, that the storm, you can say, raged here, the storm, you can say, started, believe, you can say, across these islands. I lost, you can say, my daughter in that storm. Okay, now say here, page 112, 112. At this encounter, do so much admire that they devote their reason and scarce think their eyes do offices of truth. Their words are natural breath. Now see here. Now Prospero says here that I observe. Prospero says, I observe that these lords Alonso, Antonio, Sebastian, Gonzalo. So he says here, I observe, I notice that these lords here are feeling so amazed. There you can say perplexed. There you can say feeling amazed as to have lost their, you can say, rational, you can say, faculty. Okay, mental faculty, reasoning power, insight, they have lost because still they are, you can say, under the effect of my magic, you can say, spell. Still you can say their mind, you can say, is not working properly. They are, you can say, feeling as if they are in a state of madness, a state of insanity. Now say here that they devote their reason. That they devote their reason. Of course, you can say devote their reasons. Their reasons are, you can say, they are not able to reason out. They are not having insight to make out what they see, what is going on, and so on. And they start think their eyes do offices of truth, and whatever their eyes will see, whatever their eyes see, or their eyes see as a reality, they don't accept it. And they start think their eyes do offices of truth. Their words are natural breath, and their words, and whatever they hear, they don't, you can say here, believe it, they don't, you can say, accept it, okay, as a truth. Now say here, they can hardly believe that their eyes do offices of truth. So they can hardly believe. They means here Alonso, Antonio, Sebastian, and Gonzalo. They can hardly believe that their eyes are seeing reality. Hardly believe that their eyes are seeing reality, and that their eyes and their ears are hearing real speech. Hardly their ears will believe that they are, you can say, hearing real speech. Okay, now see. But whosoever you have been judged from your senses. Now see what it says here. But no matter to what extent they have lost, you can say, their senses. Even you can say your eyes and your ears, they have lost, you can say, their, of course, power in realizing or making out what is going on or what they see. Senses. Eyes here. Senses. Know for certain that I am Prospero. I assure you that I am Prospero. I assure you that I am Prospero. And that very Duke which was thrust forth of Milan, and I am indeed the Duke of Milan, who was driven out of Milan. I was dislodged out of Milan by Antonio with the help of Alonso, so you can say, of course, muscle powers, agents, Antonio, and so on. Okay, who most strangely upon this shore. Now say here, it was under that circumstances I was forced to leave Milan. So it was under that circumstances that I had landed upon the, you can say, shore of this island. I have, you can say, landed upon this shore of this island, where you have got wrecked, where you can say your ship got wrecked and you have lost your son. At this very place I landed many years back because I was dislodged by Antonio with the help of Alonso, Sebastian and so on. So where you can see your ship got wrecked, there you can say I landed many years back. Then say here, landed to be the Lord on it. And then you can say I became, they can say here, Lord of this place. I became, you can say here, all in all for this place, on this island. No more yet of this, for it is, you can say, a chronicle of day by day. He says, I will not, you can say, talk more, you can say, about this matter, how I came to this island, how I survived for, you can say, many years. This, you can say, is of course, this will be talked, you can say, leisurely, at, you can say, in break time, at tea time, in lunch time. So it will take a long time to explain to you how I came on this island. So no more yet of this. Then you can Prospero says, but I will tell you nothing more at this time. Nothing more you can say about my arrival on this island at this time. Because you can say this long story. He says here, but it is a chronicle of day by day. Because you can say this, it is a long story. Okay. To be related day after day. So every day, day after day, you can say I have to relate it, and I can say I have to tell you the story. How I came on this island, how I survived, and so on. Not a relation for a breakfast, nor you can say befitting this first meeting. He says here, day after day. And not an antidote. Antidote you can say is a story, which can be completed at breakfast. So this story cannot be, you can say, completed in one stretch at breakfast. Okay, on a single day. So you can say on a single day at breakfast time, I cannot, you can say here, tell you the story in one stretch that you can say is I start and finish, I start and finish. It cannot be done. It will be done leisurely day after day. Okay, then say here, not a relation for a breakfast, nor befitting this first meeting. And you can say yes, what it says here. Or which should be, you can say, related, you can say, at the very first meeting, and which cannot be, you can say, here also related or completed at the very first meeting, you can say, at this time. Now say what it says here. Welcome, sir. I welcome you, sir. It's a Prospero, you can say, welcome, sir, Alonso. So I welcome you, sir. This cell is my port. Now you can say, says this cave. This cave is my, of course, royal port. Okay, here have I few attendants and subjects, none abroad. He says here, I have only few attendants to serve me. Attendants to serve me and subjects, none abroad. And of course, I have no subjects. Subjects means servants. Okay, abroad, outside my cell. So here see only, you can say limited people we are here, myself, and of course Miranda, Caliban is there, and Ariel is there, which remains invisible. Now see here, it says here, so I have only few attendants here and I don't have any servants outside my cell, outside my cave. Cell means cave. Then say here, pray you look in. I request you to go inside, you can say, my cave and cast a look inside. Or you can say, it says here, I request you to go inside my cave and have a look. Then see what it says here after that. My dukedom since you have given me again. So since you can say here, since you have restored my dukedom back to me. Okay. As you have restored my dukedom to me, I will requite you with as good a thing. So certainly you can say here, I will requite you. I will pay you back equally of, you can say, of the same value. I will repay you with something equally splendid. Okay, I too will, you can say, pay you back. Since you have given me, you can say here, my dukedom, Milan. So for that, okay, I will compensate it, I will requite it, I will pay you back of the same, you can say here, of the same value. It will be equally splendid. Splendid means you can say of, superb, okay, of a superb quality, or you can say of the same value. Then say here, at least bring forth a wonder. Okay, he says here, the least I will do is to, of course, bring a surprise upon you. The least I will do is to bring a surprise upon you. You will be, of course, surprised to see inside the cave. Okay, what you will see there, and there you can say you will go and see Ferdinand is alive, and Miranda, of course, you can see there. Both of them are sitting and, of course, playing chess. Playing chess, you can say, in the cave. So at least bring forth a wonder to content you as much as me, my dukedom. And then you can say here, and this surprise shall, of course, you can say here, please you. This surprise, you can say, shall please you as much as the restoration of my dukedom pleases me. So this surprise, you can say, will make you happy as much as I became happy when I got back my dukedom. Now see here, the entrance of the cell open and discovers Ferdinand and Miranda playing at chess. Now see here Prospero shows them, you can say here, Ferdinand and Miranda playing chess. Now see what Miranda says here. They are playing chess. Miranda tells Ferdinand, okay, my lord, you are cheating me at the, you can say, chess. Though I love you so much, even you cheat me, okay, I will not mind it. Then you can see Ferdinand says, okay, even for the whole world, I will not cheat you. She says, okay, whole world, you can say, is quite big. If you take, you can say, a few kingdoms, okay, it will be rather, you can say, appropriate. Then see here, what we can say, Miranda says, she tells Ferdinand, sweet lord, you play me false. So you can say, says here, okay, sweet, okay, you are, my sweet lord, you are deceiving me while you are playing the game. You are cheating me while you are playing the game. Ferdinand, no, my dearest love, he says here, no, my beloved, I will not cheat you, you can say, at the game. I would not for the whole world. He says, I will not, you can say, deceive you, even to get the whole world. Even for the whole world, I will not, you can say, cheat you or deceive you. Miranda says here, yes, for a score of kingdoms, you should, you can say here, wrangle. She says, she tells Ferdinand, yes, you would deceive me. You would deceive me, but my love for you is great. Okay, you will deceive me, but my love for you is great that I would call it, you can say, a fair game. My love, I love you so much that even you can say cheat me and deceive me, I will call it, you can say, a fair game. Okay, on your part. Okay, even if you were to enter into a dispute, even you can say you were to enter, you can say, in an argument with me for such a low stakes, you can say, as a score of kingdom. Okay, when you can say this, you can say enter into a dispute, even for, you can say, a low stakes, okay, of kingdoms. Okay, and not such high stakes as the whole world, and not as a high stake as the whole world. Stake is, when while gambling, people keep money, you can say, in front of them, there is what is a stake. So she says, if you call, you can say, of course, kingdoms, okay, it will be all right, but do not, you can say, of course, and do not, you can say, of course, a stake, you can say, the whole world. Okay, now see, I will, you can say, read once again. Yes, for a score of kingdoms, you should wrangle. So she says here that my love for you, you can say, is so great that you can say, when you play, you can say, false, what do you call that, cheating game, or even when you cheat me or deceive me, you can say, at the game, I will call it, you can say, fair. Okay, and if you enter, you can say, into a dispute with me for such low stakes, you can say, what do you call that, kingdoms, you can say, small states. Okay, and not high stakes as the whole world. So here you can say kingdom, you can say for stakes and not the whole world. Even you cheat me, I will call it a fair game because my love for you is so much. Then say, Alonso says here, if this prove a vision of the island. Now Alonso says here, if I am seeing where to prove an illusion. So Alonso says, what I see proves to be an illusion. Illusion means false belief. Okay. Illusion. Like the other illusions on this island. Like the other, you can say, false things I have seen, other illusions I have seen, you can say, on the island. Okay. Shall I twice lose? Then you can say here, then you can say here, my grief would be as great as it would be. My grief would be as great as it would be if I were to lose my dear son for the second time. So my grief would be as great as this if I were to lose my son, you can say, for the second time. For the second time he will lose, you can say, in his marriage. Once you can say he will marry, you can say, and of course you can say he says, I will be no. You can say yes, I will be having the, you can say this much grief if I lose my son for the second time. Second time he will lose his son, he will marry, you can say Miranda. That time okay, after marriage. That is one reason. But here he says, if I lose my son for the second time, I will have, you can say here, the same grief. See here, then my grief would be as great as it would be if I were to lose my dear son for the second time. If I lose my son for the second time, my grief would be as great as this. Now, say Sebastian. What Sebastian says? A most high miracle. He says here, what we are seeing, you can say, is a wonderful miracle. He says here, what a wonderful miracle we see, you can say, on this island. Then Ferdinand says here, Ferdinand tells, you can say, his father. Ferdinand, though the seas threaten, okay, though the seas threaten, they are merciful. Okay, now see what he says here. Although the seas are, you can say, here, menacing. The ocean, you can say, is of course nature, you can say, is quite, of course, rough. So, although the seas are, you can say, menacing, threatening to, you can say, swallow us, to kill us, yet they have been, you can say, merciful to me. But the sea, you can say, have been, but they have been merciful, you can say, to me by having spared the life of, you can say, of my father. But you can, they have spared, you can say, life of my father. The sea, you can say, has been merciful to me. Okay, they are merciful. I have cursed them, you can say, without cause. I have been cursing the seas without, you can say, a reason. I am cursing the seas without reason. So yes, if Ferdinand, you can say, seas, you can say, his father, and he says, though ocean, you can say, is of course quite, you can say, ferocious, quite, you can say, rough. Okay, they have spared, you can say, my father's life without any reason. I have been cursing, you can say, the oceans. And here, Alonso, he, you can say, says, if I lose my son, you can say, for the second time, okay, I will have, you can say, the same, you can say, grief as, you can say, I have now. Okay, and he says, whatever I see, you can say, is the real stuff or illusion. Still, you can say, he is under the effect of insanity, under the effect of prosperous, you can say, magical spell. Okay, we stop here. For today, only this much. We shall see. Okay, in the next class, whenever you can say, okay, so read and enjoy.